Okay, I'd like to start our Concord Township regular public meeting for Tuesday, August 1st. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes. I'd like to, prior to the meeting, like to note for the record that the council met in executive session regarding litigation on the 25th of July. For recognitions and announcements, we have more announcements, but this is the first month in a long time I don't think we've had any recognitions. Upcoming meeting and events, August 9th, the Historical Commission meeting. August 10th, Concert in the Park, Bailey Run. August 16th, Zoning Hearing Board meeting. August 17th, Concert in the Park, The Real Feel. August 18th, Movie in the Park, Luca. August 21st, Planning Commission meeting. August 24th, Concert in the Park, The Fabulous Grease Band. And August 29th, the Council Agenda meeting. And inquiring minds want to know, what, did the Lyle Crocodile ever come off because he got bumped? Okay. September, okay, I know he got rain dated out 2 times. Going on to report, Public Safety, Vanita.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everybody. Today, before we talk about safety report, I do want to thank Mr. George Tempesta, our local resident, for reporting violations on Smith Bridge Road by drivers on the road. PennDOT recently closed the bridge carrying Smith Bridge Road over the Webb Creek during a recent downgrade from poor condition to critical condition pursuant to a recent bridge inspection. The bridge superstructure is in serious condition. It has been brought to our attention that the cones that were placed on the road for closure were being moved by drivers to drive on the bridge, and then the same drivers put the cones back based on the information that the township has received. The township would like to inform the residents that this is a highly dangerous act due to the condition of the bridge, and is pleading to all drivers to refrain from moving the cones and other barriers to drive on this bridge. Please follow the road rules and keep yourself and your families safe. There have been detours provided by PennDOT, so please use those detours. To move on to the safety report based on the Concordville Fire and Protective Association, we have made great progress compared to the number of events this time last year. In the month of July, we had a total of 34 events that included 8 motor vehicle accidents and 23 other incidents that were comprised of forest wood fire, 3 medical assist calls to assist the EMS crew, gas leak, carbon monoxide incident, and a shorted electrical equipment. There were several false alarms that range from sprinkler activation due to malfunction, smoke detector activation, dispatched and canceled en route, and smoke detector activation with no fire. Of the 8 motor vehicle accidents, there were 5 accidents that included bodily injury. Safety on the road should be #1 responsibility for everybody. I want to thank the township residents for taking the monthly safety tips and bringing them into action to keep themselves and the surroundings safe. The safety tips for this month, for the month of August, are as follows. The month of July has recorded some very high temperatures this summer. Summertime is perfect for spending outdoors with our family and furry friends. However, we need to make sure that our children, our elderly, and the pets are safe and healthy, especially from high temperatures. Heat stroke is a serious condition that can lead to permanent damage or worse. Please spot the signs of heat exhaustion and keep your elderly, children, and pets cool and hydrated. Please obey the local laws regarding open fires, including campfires, and also considering the motor vehicle accidents, please avoid distracted driving and follow the road rules and the speeds on the roads. Safety on the roads should be our prime importance for every driver of a vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you. Recreation. Mr. Cross.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've had some successful summer events this last few weeks. At the Patriotic Pet Parade, we had 30 pets participate, and the winning pets were Molly, Daisy, Pepper, Amigo, Lucy, and Harper. Congratulations to them. And 150 people came out to watch the pet parade, which I think is awesome. We had our first ever cornhole tournament on July 29th, and 20 teams participated, which was fantastic. We had 38 Concord community members to participate in the Delco Senior Games in June, many of whom medaled. Congratulations to everyone who did. And we had the Birdtown Committee kickoff meeting on July 26th. So more to come with that. What we're doing currently is inventorying all of the current activities we're doing so we can identify new things to do. It was mentioned earlier that the movie in the park on the 18th will be Luca, and I want to highlight that our local restaurant Fava is, we're working with them to have spaghetti and meatballs available for dinner that evening. We also have steering committee meetings happening for the First State National Park Trail Connector Committee, as well as more developments on the Beaver Valley Park on Beaver Valley Road, as well as the Bush Hill Farm Master Plan. So much more to come on all three of those later this month, and hopefully more to report out in September. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Gillespie is out of town, so his report will be made part of the record. Building and Code Enforcement. Colleen.
Thank you, Mr. President. In our building codes, we issued 61 permits in the month of July and 48 certificates of occupancy, including we also issued a permit for the Windsor Pool at 244 Baltimore Pike. Upcoming, we have zoning hearing board. We have 3 items that will be in front of them on August 16th. Concord Country Club for a special exception for the golf cart building. Ed Ferraro at 823 Shavertown Road for a variance for accessory structures, and Milan's decision on the hotel. We also have several new businesses that have been issued final certificates of occupancy. Joyful Restoration Coaching, Counseling, and Integrative Energy Medicine at 855 Concord Road. Environmental Disinfecting Solutions at 818 Baltimore Pike. Concord Bagel and Deli Cafe at 257 Wilmington Westchester Pike. Pearly White's Children Dentistry at 16 Wilmington Westchester Pike. And Glen Mills Senior Living Memory Care at 242 Baltimore Pike.
I do want to make a suggestion here. I suggest that we request the township solicitor to be present at the zoning housing board meeting.
On
hearing.
For the Ferrara project in particular?
For the hearing for Mr. Ferreira.
That's in the form of a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Vanita. Planning Commission, Larry.
Yes. Concord Township Planning Commission activities for July 2023. The Planning Commission agenda meeting was held on July 10th, and the public meeting was canceled on July 17th. When it comes to new projects, the Orchard Knoll preliminary review, Conrad, there's 3 folio numbers that John Crossan no longer lets me read. That was assigned to Mark Elser and Jeff Santillari. Conditional use for terrain, outdoor dining, Planning Commission will review and issue review comments. BVG Associates LP, which is Joseph Anthony Salon, folio number, the parking lot subdivision, they wanted an extension and it was granted till November 22nd. Schedule for the month was already went over, but the agenda meeting will be on August 14th and the public meeting will be on August 21st.
Thank you, Larry.
Thanks.
You, Solicitor.
Yes, no new litigation has been filed with reference to Concord Township, and the Concord Ventures Status Conference is scheduled at this time for August the 10th, although that I would not be shocked if Concord Ventures attorneys move for a continuation of that pending discussions with the township.
That's it, Nate? I mean, you?
That's it?
All right, Nate, you're up.
Yeah, just, I think, two brief updates. First, in great news, the signal poles for the 202 Namus Creek project came in about, a month, 6 weeks plus early. So they were out there today actually getting those installed. So we're now looking at this project hopefully wrapping up as early as mid-August. So that's definitely been an upgrade, especially with some of the other construction projects we have going on. So good to see there. Second, the annual road program is going to get started. Milling work will begin on the 7th of August, and paving will begin on the 9th. Briefly, I'll just read off the roads included this year: Sunset View, Serpentine, Palmer, Edward Miller, Cider Mill, Shavertown, Union School, Remarkable, Rockland Manor, Forwood, and Lone Beach Lane. That work will probably go into middle of August, give or take, and we'll be doing some pretty full-time inspection just to make sure everything gets done correctly there.
Those roads are on the website if somebody wanted to see if they're,
I'll work with Lisa to make sure they are. Yep.
okay. Township Manager, Amanda.
Yes, I just, speaking of the road program, I just want to point out, since the Public Works report wasn't done, but our Public Works team in total removed and replaced 35 storm drains. So they did that repair in hopes of our road program coming through. So I just want to point out and say really great job by our team there with Dan Moyer at the helm handling that.
Yeah, and I think just to reiterate, I mean, that's work in the past we would have to have a contractor complete at a significant more cost to the township, so.
And it saved roughly $90,000. So that's a really important thing to point out.
Good.
The other update I have is, I'm sorry, the mic's a little shorter. On the community center, we get asked what's happening, how are things going. As council knows, we are finishing up the bid project for the downstairs renovations or the main bottom level. And we're working through that. We have a couple minor things there, and then we're gonna transition to the upstairs, sort of the main room, and getting that finalized. There's flooring needs in there, and aesthetic things, and some railings and things of that nature that need to get done. And we hope, I try to explain to people a lot of times with the community center, it's a very big building. It's a very expensive project. We could spend millions of dollars depending on finishes and what people want to do. And council has, given me clear direction. We want to get the project done, but we're trying to do it as financially feasible as possible. This is not a grant project moment. This is a township putting out of our capital reserve fund. So with all the projects and projects we'll talk about tonight, we have a lot of priorities that come into play. And while that building is a priority, we're trying to, have that handled appropriately. But I'm always here if anyone has questions on that project, but it is continuing to move, so folks do know.
Okay. Citizen comment. Amanda, do we have any via email?
Yes, we did receive one comment via email, and that is from Mr. Goebel, and it is regarding 711 Concord Road. And he is inquiring about the conversation at last month's meeting during the engineer's report by Mr. Klein regarding the missing bumper curbs and interpretation of the code, and noting that there is still issues and they're parking up on the grass and location of bumper curbs. He would like to have a meeting with the township engineer to go over where he believes they should be located. Thanks.
Okay. All right, now's the time for public comment. Anything for the township, please come up. We'll need your name and address. Even though for a lot of you, we know what that is, but for the record, we'd have to have it entered again anyway.
Ken Hemphill, 39 Millrace Place. Just real, Colleen, you didn't mention the winery. Is the winery still on the docket for the zoning hearing board?
No, they've asked for continuance.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Maureen? Why don't you wait till you get to the microphone at work, please?
Maureen Hewitt, 19 Brook Lane, Chadsford. Does anybody go over and check that Pulte job? They clear cut it, and with all this rain, I'm seeing rain move around erratically. I know there's an engineering plan. Does anybody check up on that engineering?
Yeah, we have, the County Conservation District is on site on probably a bi-weekly basis, and then staff from my office are on site probably on a daily basis. probably 3 to 5 times a different, each week, depending on what they're working on, keeping an eye on that site and making sure everything's operating properly. A few snafus out of the gate, but I think so far it's been pretty good, a couple months of progress with no issues.
Okay, thanks. And how about the car wash in the middle of the road? When someone starts a project, is there a proposed time to finish it?
I'm glad you brought that up. It seems to
You're
be
never
sporadic.
glad I bring anything
Yeah,
up.
it's sporadic is best, and I'm tired of going to Delaware to get my car washed. Amanda, maybe we can talk to James tomorrow and get the skinny
Sure,
on that.
but permits and their, it's all covered under the Uniform Construction Code in terms of how much time somebody has from permit initiation to completion. So it is regulated. It's probably not as fast as people would like, but there are times.
Okay, and I'd be glad to hear about those times, but on both the southbound and northbound side of 202, there's trash and metal pieces and screws coming out there.
Yeah.
There's also a truck going southbound, sort of like where the extra turn's going to be. Highway materials is written on the side of the truck.
That's not.
Yeah, that's part of the 202 Namens Creek intersection project. So that's what I mentioned earlier with putting up the new traffic signal poles. So that's all part of that project. So that's on purpose for that lane per PennDOT's traffic control.
So they can't put that anyplace else during this?
No, it's intentional, I believe. I mean, I'll double check on my way out, but it should be blocking that lane until it's fully constructed. So it's like you would see on a highway when you're driving and they've got multiple vehicles blocking the traffic, something like that.
Okay. If somebody could ask them about the track, I mean, it's ridiculous, like it's
I'll tell
cotton
James
matting.
tomorrow and have him go over there.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right.
I think one of the issues might be on that truck, that the lighted board that they have on the back that would give you a directional arrow is not working. So if at night, it's sitting in the intersection and it's dark.
Okay. Moving right along in the agenda, we will go to our business items. First is the consent agenda, and under the consent agenda would be the approval of the council public meeting minutes of July 11th. Dana, I think you have the bills and a certificate of payment you'd like to read into the record, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So the total expenditures are $596,671.32, which consists of July payroll of $175,318.12, current bills $153,618.15, and our sewer bills $267,735.05. And our certificate of payment is for McKinney Construction Payment. This is payment number 2 for $50,434.20, and that's for the Concord Road North Sewer Project.
Okay, there are no financial releases and no acceptance as plans for review. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nate, you want to give us an update on Schoolhouse Lane, please?
Yeah, not much of an update, frankly, this month. We need, at this point, one signature. Staff here and my staff have been in conversation with this homeowner. Once we get that signature, we'll submit that to PennDOT. I believe later on the agenda, we've got an ARPA discussion to put this out to bid. So again, same update as kind of last month, which is hopefully this is going to be a fall construction project.
Okay. Next is resolution number 33 of 2023, a resolution to Concord Township approving the transfer of a restaurant liquor license number R18661. I think I'll read the conditions into the record. Is anybody here on behalf of El Pez? Okay. Anyway, we had a hearing regarding the transfer of a liquor license from Ridley Township over to the old Bertucci's restaurant at 501 Byers Drive in Glen Mills. And we held a hearing, and we have decided to approve it subject to the following conditions. Number one, the applicant shall conform to all rules and regulations of the Pennsylvania LCB. Number two, all the applicant's employees involved with the sale and/or dispensing of alcoholic beverages are required to undergo ramp training, which is the LCB training. Number 3, applicant will apply for and abide by the terms of all required Concord Township permit and licenses, as well as the conditions set forth in Resolution 34, the conditional use dining decision, which is also attached to this and will be discussed after this one. Number 4, all sales of alcohol will end at 10 p.m. every Sunday through Thursday. Sale of alcohol will be permitted for 2 additional hours until 12 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Number 5, bar seating is limited to no more than 16 chairs, stool, and indoor seating is limited to no more than 196. Number 6, no outdoor bar is permitted. Number 7, signs shall be displayed at all time advising customers that no alcoholic beverages may be served or consumed outside the indoor and/or defined outdoor restaurant dining areas. Number 8, no takeout alcohol will be sold by the applicant at any time. Number 9, not less than 60% of the applicant's revenue shall derive from the sale of food and non-alcoholic beverages. Number 10, no outdoor DJs or other form of live entertainment will be permitted at any time. Number 11, each of these conditions shall run with the license unless modified by Concord Township Council by subsequent resolution of council. Do we have a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is resolution number 42, which is the same location, but it has to do with the outdoor dining. And that is approved subject to the following conditions. The area of the outdoor dining patio is restricted to 18 by 26 feet and is to be enclosed by a secured fence rail permanently anchored into the concrete foundation as approved by the township engineer and/or building code official, and will be confined to the existing 18 feet by 26-foot outdoor seating area at the premises. Number 2, the seasonal outdoor seating area is enclosed by a fence of at least 42 inches high, which will be protected by bollards, planters positioned adjacent to all vehicular drive aisles to protect the patron as approved by the township. Number 3, the outdoor fence to be designed to provide at least 2 gates and associated handicap ramps to allow for emergency egress from the outdoor dining area as approved by the township. Number 4, outdoor dining will be permitted April 1st through November 1st between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 8 a.m. and to 12 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Number 5, no outdoor bar will be permitted, but patrons seated at the outdoor tables may be served alcoholic beverage for consumption at the table. Number 6, the landscaping and lighting for the outdoor seating area will remain as is. Again, this is the former Bertucci site, which had outdoor dining. Number 7, access to the outdoor dining area shall be solely from the main restaurant. Number 8, no live music and/or entertainment will be permitted at any time in the outdoor dining area. Number 9, the outdoor dining occupancy shall not exceed 44 patrons unless otherwise limited by the fire marshal. Number 10, no smoking will be permitted in the outdoor dining area. Number 11, clearance must be maintained at all time between the fence and the bollards enclosing the outdoor dining area and the curb line to allow for pedestrian traffic, which shall be subject to township review and approval prior to the issue of building permits. Number 12, signs shall be displayed as approved by the township prior to the issuance of signage permits at all times advising customers that no alcoholic beverage may be taken outside of the food service area as delineated by the fence at any time. Number 13, no outdoor advertising is permitted in the patio area. Number 14, no takeout alcohol will be sold by the applicant at any time. Number 15, on-site security will be the responsibility of the applicant. Number 16, applicant will apply for and abide by the terms of all applicable Concord Township permits and license. And lastly, approval of the outdoor dining is limited to the applicant and will cease upon termination of the applicant's tenancy. Do we have a motion to approve number 34?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Number 5 is resolution number 35, which has to do with a fee schedule change. Dana, do you have Amanda, do you have something on that?
So the authorization This is just an authorization to execute a pump and haul agreement. So basically what happens with the Pulte development, they have a large pump station going in there. That
No,
can
wait,
handle.
I have 35 as the fee schedule amendment. Unless I
No,
have an
you
old-
have an old.
Okay, that got
Yeah, no.
updated, okay, so 35. So now we're up to the pump and haul agreement. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that is the agreement where until Pulte has a baseline flow of 4,000 gallons per day over at the Spring Lake Complex, they will be pump and hauling their sewage.
Yes, they are required by DEP. This permit is a
Okay.
requirement.
I apologize for having the earlier version. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the pump and haul agreement? That would be,
So moved.
do we have a second? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Lastly, we had a workshop on, I guess it was last Tuesday night, the 24th or 25th, regarding the use of the ARPA funds. And at that workshop, we listed a number of projects that we'd like to designate money from the ARPA funds we are receiving. With the ARPA funds received was $1,882,968. And the brainstorming at that session decided that these are the following projects we'd like to spend some money on at this time. On the list that was given us, this was noted as project number 5, which was Newland Way Stream Restoration. It's an area behind the Wawa on 202, which has quite a bit of, do you have a picture of that one, Nate? Yeah, quite a bit of erosion. It's a basin that we own and we are responsible for taking care of, and there's some stream restoration that needs to be done with it, and it's been neglected for a number of years. The estimated cost on that project is $300,000. Also, at the same area, there is a stormwater basin that is also going to need to be repaired, and that's at a cost of $96,991. We decided to fund the intersection deceleration lane at Schoolhouse Lane and Baltimore Pike, which we've been talking about for a few years now, at the cost of $278,101. Project 8 was stormwater infrastructure improvements on Nickland Lane and Concord Woods. We have the infrastructure improvements, which are the pipe, which I understand is metal pipe that is all
Corrugated
deteriorated.
metal pipe that's been eroding, yes.
And these pipes are our responsibility, and that's at an estimated cost of $175,000. Also on Nickland Lane, there's a stormwater basement that's going to need some work at a cost of $65,000. And also the other project we wanted to do regarding infrastructure on Spring Valley Road, we have a culvert crossing one side to the other. We fixed one of the smaller ones last year. That's at a cost of $105,000. And the Township Council was very interested. We're going to budget $125,000 for communication and security upgrades to the township property, including communication channels. Colleen, what did you say about getting a text if something happens?
Better communication and outreach to our residents of emergency situations that we can get out faster than an email.
Okay, Nate, one question. These are all estimated costs, so if we're fortunate enough to get it done less than that, that means there'll be more money to put to other projects, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you total all those, 7 projects up, it's $1,145,092, which would leave a remaining balance of $737,876, which if council's okay with, at a future meeting, we will probably have another workshop on that once we get into these other projects. So do we have a motion to expend those ARPA funds for the infrastructure and communication projects?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
7:29. We